Hello, Jason Moore here at Guitar Solo Dojo. I had a request to break down that outro solo at Bark at the Moon from Jake E. Lee, and so I'm going to do that. It's really straightforward rhythmically, but there's a couple tricks that you can use to help get through it a little bit more smooth, and a couple things that he does. When you listen to the slowed down track, you can hear a couple transitions that are made. It's essentially the same whole lick, long lick, repeated 2 times over with a slight variation, like I said, when you do the slow down track, which you can or cannot do. It doesn't make that big of a difference. But the basics is playing from an A minor to a G, then it goes to an F major 7, and then down to an E minor. And how you do it is the key here. Now my recommendation would be to start with an upstroke. And so I'm going to start with an up, do the pull off, and then I'm going to sweep from the G to the B, and then 2 upstrokes for each of these next pull offs that you do. And that's just something that I worked out because it seems to make it nice and clean. Doesn't mean you have to, but I think it might help. So we got this so far. So every time I'm transitioning from the G to the B, I'm using that downstroke sweep. Next part, same exact picking for the G part. But the last note, he jumps a little bit ahead to get to the F chord. So he goes like this. So he's a little bit ahead of the game on that last one. And you had to listen to the slow down track to really pick that up. And that could be just because he was getting ahead of the game, or it could be because he was trying to set up to play that F, which is a really gnarly stretch. Now I had somebody ask, what's a little more difficult, or is it the same as the stretch in Ice Cream Man? You know, wait, sorry. That little stretch right there, they're about the same. This one stretching, Ice Cream Man stretches from 12 to 19, and this one, Bark at the Moon, stretches from 10 to 17. Yeah, that's a crazy stretch. Anyway, they're about the same, but technically the one in Bark of the Moon is just a little bit more because it's starting a couple frets lower. That being said, I still don't think it's as difficult, even though I'm having to shift my body to do it because there's a little less movement. But either way, yeah, they're both kind of crazy stretches. But here's what it's going to look like. You're going to hit that pinky on the 17 of the B, 13 on the B with the second finger, and then the first finger on the 10th fret of the G string. And these two, the first and second fingers, can just stay for the whole lick. Then that drops down to an easier stretch for the E minor, which is 9 on the G, 12 on the B, and 15 on the B. Second time through, we got the same idea. And then to the G riff, to the F riff. On that F riff, he cuts out one note early. He goes, and he stops on that note to set up for this. And at that point, the whole thing repeats. Now, the only difference is in the very end, he hits that A, which is the 14th fret on the G string, at the very end in the song. And the other thing, when he stops on this F, at the end of the first time through to lead into this lick, instead of that, he actually just hits this note, that 13th fret on the B, a couple more times, so it sounds like this. And it might just be a little delay that I'm hearing in there, but he hits that note instead of going here. Now my recommendation would be to ignore that little slight difference and just stop on that one, so it'll sound like this. And that sets you up to get to that next riff. Anyway, there it is, a little broken down for you. I hope that helps.